trying to break it down simply as possible, diverging as far away from reality as possible. So I'm not doing portrait work or landscapes, anything that is, you see in day-to-day life. It's usually bright colors, weird shapes. Try and focus on stuff that can't really exist anywhere else except for the surface I'm working on.
Where can people get your stuff?
You mean purchase it? Or
yes.
They could contact me directly at Instagram at Smoking.joe.perry. I'm located in Radiant Hall. I do, show people my studio, do tours if they need to. I have a website, which is Smoking.joe.perry. That's how you track me down.
That's exactly what I wanted to know. Tell me about Unblurred. What is
Unblurred. It is First Fridays. It's basically gallery crawl on Penn Avenue in Garfield. It's awesome because if you are showing art, you're guaranteed to have about 300-400 people see your art that have never seen it before. And if you're going to look at art, you're able to walk around and I think view probably close to 20-25 galleries.
What is your take on the Pittsburgh art scene?
I'd say it's booming. There's a ton of people doing art. Every time I go out, I see more shows, more galleries opening up, which is great. I feel like it's thriving, especially with a lot of people moving into the city now. I feel like it's basically cutting its teeth on a national art scene, I would say.
Do you know of any really cool art spots people should go to see some of the best stuff and just generally hang out or whatever?
Penn Avenue, Unblurred, I'm a huge fan of. Specifically, I really like the Mattress Factory. It's weird because you walk through, it's always changing, a lot of installation art. It's pretty much everywhere. Pittsburgh Glass Center is really awesome. Tons of murals throughout the entire city. You just have to drive around and look for them.
Yeah, for sure. How about some local artists? Do you have any favorite local artists?
Danny Montano. Danny Montano was a really good friend of mine that passed away last year. His art was probably the most prolific. If you Google his name, you find tons of articles about him. You can see his art. That's all I really want to mention. Danny Montano.
Okay.
Aesthetic is super clean lines, a lot of depth, a lot of saturated colors. Just weird patterns, weird shapes, whatever comes to mind. I started off doing a lot of landscapes, and to try and break away from that, I decided that if I had a triangle, I can't make a landscape out of it. So this is a way of me forcing myself to not do landscapes anymore. Work with a lot of different materials. This piece is resin, enamel, glitter, and wood framing. Those layers of purple are actually separated between layers of resin, so it actually creates sort of a depth effect to it. Almost sculptural, three-dimensional. This piece is wood frame, canvas, acrylic, and enamel. Basically just trying to make stuff psychedelic and cool to look at. It's really hard to talk about art. I think that I'm better at just kind of making it and let the viewer decide what they want to think of it. Just kind of start off with raw panel, pick a color palette and just start working with it. And just basically keep working on it until I think it's done. This piece is a combination of wood, enamel, and resin. The enamel paint, to get this cool gradient on there, basically I'll start off with one base color and then slowly mixing colors and adding lines to sort of get that sort of dreamy-like gradient effect on it. I'm Smoking.joe.perry. I'm an artist and Mr. Bones knows me.